End of 2019, a lot of people, and maybe you're amongst them, they sat down and make their New Year's resolutions. And after even 2 weeks, as the new year started, they failed. And after 6 months, 92% failed to reach their New Year's resolutions. Maybe you're one of them. Now, almost nobody in 2020 saw COVID-19 coming. So it just knocked us out, almost. And that was maybe not the reason why you didn't reach your New Year's resolutions. Now, let me guess, either your New Year's resolution was to exercise more, to save money, to eat healthier, or to lose weight. Last but not the least. Now, why have you failed? Why people are failing? Well, number one, the list is far too long. It's too big. It's too big as well, each one of them, because maybe you didn't cut them in smaller milestones. Maybe they're unrealistic or they're unspecific. Now, COVID-19 was the cause of so many things, but maybe not because you failed to reach your New Year's resolutions, the targets in 2020. I came across a book, and that was actually really interesting. And that was like, oh wow, what an amazing idea. And it's so trivial at the beginning, it seems like. Now the thing is, everything could be different. Instead, just come with me in this world, instead of having a couple of points, while I want to reach this, I want to change this, I want to do this and that. You make only one goal. You set up one goal, and not just like a couple of words all together, but you give yourself only one word. It's like, okay, one word, all right, next. Now listen, this one word, this is not my idea, but it gives a lot of freedom and calmness, tranquility, rest inside of you, as it came to me. Now there are 3 authors, Jimmy Page and 2 others. They came up with this book in 2013 already, and this book is named, what the title of the book is, One Word Will Change Your Life. And with this life, it can change your entire world. And how you identify your one word. So stick with me. It's so interesting when you have one word, because it's liberating you. It gives you the freedom to really focus and to go for one thing, to focus only on one thing, to select all this information you're bombarded with only for one thing, whatever that might be. Oprah, she has love. Steve Jobs, he had invention, innovation. There are a couple of things which you can opt for. Mother Teresa was, I think, tuned for that one word, and that was compassion. What is your word? And how you figure it out what it is? Well, in this book, I recommend to read it, but there are also a couple of video clips, and I can share 1 or 2 of them with you, as I found actually first about that book. There are 5 steps. So that one word, how to get your one word, it's a little work. Now you have to sit aside, and not just for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but maybe you want to designate an hour for that, because it's so significant. Now, what you do, you are switching off your phone, you're switching off your TV, you're shut off your bell from the house, and you lock yourself up. So I think most important is that you switch off your cell phone. But yeah, you will define the most important thing, just to be undisturbed. Alright, now there are 5 things you can think about. First, this is who I am. You note down, this is who you are. The traits you have, the characteristics which define you. You note them down in keywords, just bullet points. Number 2, what connects my happiness? They come up with some idea like, what is my favorite book? What is my favorite movie? What is my favorite person? what is my favorite animal? And then you define why. So for example, my favorite animal is a dog. Why? Well, they are honest, they are adventurous, and they are, I don't know, creative. Favorite book, because of. So my favorite book is maybe these days Change Me. I've written this book, and this is one of my favorite books because of a lot of learning, storytelling, and because of compassion. Now, favorite movie, I don't know, Titanic or something like that. And then you note down why. After this, you just note down things, okay? Traits I hate. That might be the traits in others or the traits in you. And trust you me, there are no differences. Whatever you hate in others is what you hate within yourself or about yourself. It's just easier to point this out that the others are like that. That guy is like XYZ, unreliable. He's a liar, or she is doing XYZ. So, and when you look closer, these are the traits you also have inside of you. But that's just like on the side. Now, the traits you hate and why. So traits you hate is maybe unfairness, maybe about lying, dishonesty. There are a couple of points you can note down. Whatever freaks you out, highly disturbs you inside of you. Number 4, what is my constant? What are the characteristics or what you're coming up with which are constantly going on and on and on, which you observe throughout maybe your entire life? Note them down. Number 5, is this really who I am? You just sit down, you see the answers. Is that really who you are? In sense of, does it sound good or is it reality? Is that real? And that real thing is not always a walk through the sun. It's not always a piece of cake. It's also sometimes walking through thunder. Something, in other words, which is actually not something you're really proud of, not something which you would like to brag about, but it's reality. The matter of fact is that. Okay, now, if you found your one word, you want to designate it for your next year, 2021. However, and I think that's a really interesting point, you can take this throughout your whole life. Now, what I mean by that, throughout your whole life is, let's say, Oprah. And Oprah has love. And you see everything felt in place. So as soon as she made up her mind what she stands for, what is the one thing in her life. So the TV show, her own TV show, first, being an interviewer, being a reporter, and then she made her way through and found what she was looking for because of that one word. So the orientation to this one word, and maybe with you it will be the same, that everything will fall into place. Whatever you struggled before, whatever was so confusing before, maybe makes all sense and leads to just one thing. Alright, enjoy experimenting with that, and I would like to hear your comments about the book, about that video clip. If you haven't done so, subscribe this channel. There are always a couple of new things, a couple of recommendations, speaking about some people, speaking about some new techniques, talking about your self-growth, your self-development. So I wish you a great one word finding. Bye. Namaste. Ciao. Tschüss.